See, hey guys, happy Wednesday again. Today is Wednesday, July 17th. Can't believe it. Half of July is over already. So excited and honored and humbled to have the amazing Heather Wilkie on the show from Zebra Coalition. So let us know you can hear us and see us. Madeline's on. Hi, Madeline. Philip Madison's on. So give us a thumbs up and a heart. Tyler's on. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So we got our thumbs up. That means they can hear us. Rob Prater's on from yesterday. Welcome to the show. We've been trying to do this for a while.
Yes, we have.
Mostly, I'm sure it's my
at
schedule.
At least a year, but yes.
I know, but
yeah.
I am such a big proponent of Zebra Coalition and all of the things that you accomplish in town that need to be done. We need so much more of what you're doing. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're going to get to Zebra Coalition and what that means and what that looks like, but everybody always wants to know a little bit about the guests. So tell us a little bit about Heather Wilkie.
Sure. Well, my name is Heather Wilkie, and I've lived here in Orlando for about 15 years now. I have a wife. We've been together for 16 years.
Awesome.
And we have the best story, so I always have to tell it.
Tell it. I love it.
When marriage became legal for us here in Orlando, in the state of Florida, it was January 6th, 2015, and we watched the mayor and all of the people go to City Hall and do this mass wedding, and I happened to be in labor at the time on that day.
Oh my God.
And so
I did not know this.
We were thinking about going, but I was in the hospital instead. So our son was born on that day. And so he's now 4.5 years old.
Unbelievable. What's his name?
His name is Luca.
Luca.
And so we went to the courthouse a week later, postpartum, and got married. So.
And been together 16 years.
Yes, 16 years.
Isn't it fun? I mean, it's funny to me. Hey, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Love Brian. It's funny to me thinking back now about what a giant deal it was. Everybody was constantly in battle to get it done, and now it's not even on the radar very much. Like,
right.
It's just part of the norm, which we tried to tell you all that it was going to be. Lighten up and let it go, but it's wonderful that it's like that. I'm not complaining. I love the fact that you don't even give it a second thought.
No, I mean, a lot of gays are getting divorced now, so the attorneys
right?
are
Oh my God, the attorneys must love
so
this.
they're like, thanks.
They were probably big proponents of it long before because they saw the dollar signs on that. I love you, my attorney friends.
Exactly.
All right, but how did you get involved? What did you do before? Obviously, you weren't born and then you became an activist, social activist, community leader. What was your original plan?
Yeah, so my educational track is in mental health counseling. I actually graduated from Rollins College with my master's degree a few years ago, but my career track, I started with Harbor House of Central Florida and worked there for 13 years.
Yeah.
And I was doing my registered internship with Zebra Coalition while I was working full-time, and I just fell in love with the organization. And so it's been almost 4 years now. In September will be 4 years. I can't believe it.
So you have a heart for the community, and you have a heart. Our Harbor House is one of my favorite organizations. I love that you can bring pets. I think this is just such a big deal, and people don't realize what a big deal that is unless you get into the whole psyche and psychology of that. Mm-hmm. And then you go, but that's a lot of it's a lot of battered women, abused women, mm-hmm. Some men too, because they have, and of course the children go and stay. What was it like to go to a different organization? What was it like to make the transition? Because each organization is different. They have different supporters. Mm-hmm. They have a whole different world that you live in, even though we all exist in this wonderful bubble called Central Florida, Orange County, or City of Orlando. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
You know, there were so many similarities, but then the differences in the community. I definitely was not familiar with the LGBTQ leadership in this town. Even though I was openly gay out, it's a very different world when you look at the leadership. So it's been wonderful to be embraced by those amazing people who have been in this community doing this work for so much longer than I've been here. That's been great. But a lot of the issues and the struggles and the things that we see from the youth and survivors of abuse are very similar.
Right.
When you get down to the trauma of everything and then the housing component, I think it's a lot of things that do correlate very similarly.
So let's talk about Zebra Coalition. You give them the background on when Zebra was formed and a little bit about it, because I think people have heard it. If you're involved at all in the community, you've certainly heard of Zebra Coalition. I've actually had people in the past say, well, Zebra is such a great idea, but is there really a need out there?
Oh, wow.
So talk a little bit about Zebra.
So Zebra Coalition was first formed in 2010 here in Central Florida. So next year will be our 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
We're going to throw a big party. Stay tuned. We were, first of all, we surveyed the community back at the time and found that there was a high rate of suicidal ideation among the LGBTQ community, particularly with gay men, young boys between the ages of like 13 to 20. And so we were able to partner at the time with the Center for Drug-Free Living. Essentially, they founded us, and so we were a program under them for several years, which eventually became Aspire Health Partners, which is the largest behavioral health center here and mostly in the Southeast. So we were able to really find that it wasn't just about mental health support, also substance abuse was a major issue, human trafficking was a major issue, really to help with the issues related around trauma. And then later found out that not only do we need to provide the counseling, but the housing support is also very important, because if someone isn't stable, especially a young person, and if they don't have that stable housing, then they can't really heal from whatever it is they've experienced.
Well, there's such a big, people don't know this, I don't think they do. There's a very large population of LGBTQ youth who are homeless.
Absolutely.
Who become homeless.
Yep.
So talk about that. I've shared it a couple of times on the show, but from your perspective, what happens? Do kids really still get kicked out of the house because they're gay or they come out?
You know, people ask me that all the time, because it's like they can't even believe that that still happens. But what we have to understand is that we may be in a culture where it is a little more accepting now than it was, say, 5-10 years ago, but that's not always the case for everyone. And so there are this is statistically a disproportionate higher youth who are LGBT experiencing homelessness if you compare it to non-LGBTQ youth. We're at about 35 to 37%, and here in Central Florida, it's about 37% of youth experiencing homelessness identify as LGBTQ. And so Zebra Coalition is the only organization doing this work in housing. We really work a lot with our partners that have shelters, such as like Covenant House and other coalition partners of ours. But we do have a short-term housing opportunity for youth. We have 11 beds right now.
Wow.
That certainly doesn't begin to meet all of the needs, but we just expanded our bed count 3. So we were at 8 for several years. We still have, youth who are in need of housing, but we're trying to slowly expand as best we can to meet the needs.
And so I had somebody ask me, or say, well, I understand that and that's great, but can't they just go to a regular homeless shelter? Well, remember, if you're even though the age range goes from technical, not adult to adult, you still have this group that aren't considered adults, and so when you try to access our homeless services, it can be a challenge.
Definitely, and even just beyond the LGBTQ component, which is of course very important, the youth component. And so when you put a 19-year-old in a general population of someone who's been on the streets for maybe 10 plus years, they really need very different services. We need to be able to really prevent them from having that long-term, what we call chronic homelessness, where someone comes back multiple times to the shelters. So we try to get them within the first 7 days of being on the streets, and we've known that research has shown that helps reduce the chronic homelessness and the likelihood of them coming back. And then on top of it, if you add the LGBTQ component, you have individuals who just don't feel comfortable being who they are, who may get bullied and violently attacked, particularly with the transgender community. We have a lot of issues with shelters who may not appropriately place them into the shelter that they need to be in, or part of the shelter.
I mean, it's a whole, anybody who's suffering with that, going through it, of course, everybody's got their things that they're dealing with, but this brings up, this is a whole nother dynamic to it, a whole nother layer.
Definitely.
And how amazing to have now 11 beds, but like you said, 11 seems like a big number out there, but we both know that that's not barely scratching the surface. So what do you do? What kind of ancillary services are provided? What kind of outreach does Zebra Coalition do?
One of the core of our services is to provide mental health counseling. We actually have 3 therapists on staff working with youth. They have a caseload of about 65 right now that they're working with. A lot of them they come from all different walks of life. Some of them may be experiencing homelessness, but certainly not all of them. We actually see a lot of younger youth as well. Some have parental support, so we actually have a parent group every other week at Zebra Coalition. And every day we have a different program. So we focus in different areas, such as programming for transgender youth under 18 and over 18. We have one group that is a support group for gender identity and then sexual orientation. We call the support group for sexual orientation the Dazzle.
The Dazzle, I love it.
Little known fact, a group of zebras is called a Dazzle.
Very cool. I did not know that. Very cool.
So, but we have a lot of support services, and then we do a lot of fun stuff. We have an art group. We work with a partner organization. I just saw Joshua Vickery was on, and we work a lot with his organization, CFC Arts, where they come in and provide a lot of different performing arts opportunities for our youth. So we try to go on to a lot of events. We're off, a lot of times we'll take them on trips. Every year we go to Disney during Gay Days, which is now Red Shirt Day.
That's right.
And we just went this past year where we took 65 youth to Disney. We also just had our first ever prom a few weeks
so
ago.
I want to talk about that. By the way, hi Boris. Heather and I were talking about you earlier. In a good way, I promise. Talk about the prom, because I love that concept.
We've been wanting to do, Zebra Coalition's been wanting to do a prom for several years now, and we put it out to the community and our coalition partners. We have 46 organizations in our coalition, and in one of our meetings, we said, you know what, let's just do a prom. And we kind of just put it out there to the universe, and about 25 organizations stepped up and said, I want to be a part of it. People just love the prom. And so we were so fortunate. Most all of the items, everything from entertainment to the venue to food, beverages, everything was donated to this effort. And we had a little over 230 youth, ages 13 to 20. We cut it off at 20. We really wanted the high school age kids to be able to attend. They came, 230 of them. So we had so much fun at the museum. They were able to experience the art exhibits. We had drag performers. We had Jim Hobart, who is watching now.
Hi, Jim.
Actually provided our photography. And so perfect timing, Jim.
That was perfect timing.
And we just had everybody really work together to help create an amazing evening for these kids, and we're hoping to do it even bigger and better next year.
Yeah, Brian, you can hear the sirens. They're not coming after me this time, which is really good. I think it's so important. I think all of us have this wonderful. It's either wonderful, it's certainly emotional connection to prom. Mm-hmm. So good, bad, or indifferent. So for them to be able to experience it in a way that makes sense for them, what a beautiful gift. And I love to hear that you have 25 organizations immediately pop up and want to support that. When I heard about it, I thought, this is so cool. I love the idea that you could, and I love that Orlando Museum of Art was part of it, because how can you not love that venue? But I love that you're doing creative things that are of that age group. You're focused on that, because their problems are different than other problems that somebody who's LGBTQ plus experience. Mm-hmm. It's completely different. Remember, you're dealing with adolescents on top of the normal issues that you may face when you're working through any kind of issues with LGBT. So I love that. What else are you guys working on? You have so much cool stuff going on.
We do.
You've got a big October. You've got a big event coming up, and I love the name of it.
We do, and I always have to laugh that Orlando has to be extra gay, because we not only have to have June, but now we have to have October. Right? So October has come out with Pride. And this year, for the second year, we have been very fortunate to partner with Come Out with Pride, and we will be having our second annual Drag Race 5K run.
Come on.
We launched this last year, and we're like, we have an idea. Let's do a drag race. Drag is such, a topic that is coming up a lot in pop culture. People love it, and we have a lot of great performers here in Orlando. So we had that. And we had a great turnout last year, and I think we're even going to be bigger and better this year. So that's going to be on Sunday to launch Pride the week of. We'll have that in Baldwin Park, in that area over there. We'll run around Baldwin Park. We'll have performers. The youth want to do a pep rally, so we'll have some kids there getting excited, doing cheerleading. I'm sure there'll be cheerleaders and drag and all kinds of fun stuff. You never know. It's going to be zany and very zebra focused. So we'll do that, and then it really jumpstarts our month of a lot of events for youth. We have our Orlando Youth Empowerment Summit 2 weeks after that, where we have all kinds of workshops available for youth. It's a full day. This will be the 6th year that we've done that, and it brings together all kinds of youth beyond Zebra Coalition from all across the state of Florida to be able to offer that at Valencia College. So that's exciting. And then we, of course, have our Come Out with Pride Parade, which all of you, I hope to see there. And
if you haven't been to a Come Out with Pride Parade, you are missing out, trust me.
It is so much fun and so many people.
So much great energy, it's just all love, lots of love.
So that's going to be great. We also have our campaign going on right now where we are raising funds to support our drop-in center. So our drop-in center is located on Mills Avenue. If you have not been there, you most likely have driven by it a lot of times and just didn't know it. Next time, look for the rainbow flags and the trans flag. We have a new Mills 50 flag, thanks to Joanne Grant from Mills 50, who's
awesome.
Wonderful, who kind of marks our location. And we're trying to raise funds to help support the overhead that happens at that beautiful building.
So it's a drop-in center.
So a drop-in center is, the idea behind that is that we're able to meet the basic needs of any youth who may be experiencing homelessness. Now, certainly we do other programming there, and not all the youth we see have experienced homelessness, but we want to be able to meet their needs. And we do that by providing a shower facility, laundry facility, we have food. We partner with local restaurants like Lazy Moon, Pizza Bruno. We do a lot of pizza, clearly. We're working with youth.
Of course.
And so we're able to at least feed them. We have other organizations that we partner with that provide food. And we also have any sort of volunteers who maybe want to get involved can come in and donate a drop-in day so they can serve food. Last week, for example, we had Red Lobster come by and they did a cooking show for the youth, and they fed them. So we had cheddar biscuits all week.
Oh my God, those are so good.
It was trouble. But all kinds of organizations and volunteers can get involved. And so it's just a way for the community to come in, interact with the youth, and do something fun for them, and also giving them an opportunity to meet their needs. We provide hygiene products. We have a lot of drives going on right now. Actually, on our website, you can go to our Amazon wish list on our website and find basic needs ranging from $3 shampoo bottles to bedding. That's a little pricier, so it really fits any budget. Those items are shipped directly to Zebra Coalition, and we hand them out to the youth immediately. So it's just a cool way to get involved. We try to make everything that we're doing an effort of the community.
And we love you, Boris. What you all do is there's this incredible need that I think, again, that a lot of people don't know. And so I love that you engage the community, and what I really love and I'm proud of because of our community is that we engage back. The community is supportive and wants to be a part of helping the youth and helping you all, because this seems like it's not a big deal, but the things that Heather's talking about, even the smallest of items, the hygiene items, when you're on the streets for whatever reason and you're a youth, add that to it, you need the smallest, most basic human things taken care of. And what a wonderful thing for them to be able to come in and get a hot shower and some food and something to bathe with or keep. I mean, think about it. They're youth. So believe it or not, they're still adolescents who are thinking about how they look.
Right,
even when they're homeless, they're like, well, I want to be the most attractive homeless person on the street. Like, they're thinking about it as an adolescent rather than a homeless person. They've got all of these things going on in their brains. So to have something that will keep them smelling good, maybe keep them their appearance better, it sounds like it's little, but it's ginormous.
Huge.
To them. Absolutely ginormous to them. All right, so what do you tell a youth who may be watching the show, or a friend may have watched the show, and they say, you know what? I know you're struggling. You should reach out to Zebra Coalition. What's the best way to do that?
The best way to do that is to stop by our drop-in center. Our operating hours are Monday through Friday from 10 to 6, and you can come by. All we require is that you fill out our paperwork. All of our services are at no cost. We're very fortunate. We're a nonprofit. We have grant funding to help support the work that we do. And so just come on by. We serve 13 to 24 ages. We have a ton of groups, and we'll ease you into it. If you have a little bit of social anxiety, we understand that. And so we are able to work with you wherever you are to help meet your needs.
And you could be at different spots. So I had somebody tell me a story about how their friend had not come out to anybody yet, but needed some services. And remember, they're dealing with so many emotions that we don't understand, and so you have to try to account for, which is what Heather and Zebra Coalition do, account for all of that, because again, you're dealing with a completely different population than the quote-unquote normal homeless population and the normal LGBT population. These kids, these adolescents have a whole myriad of additional things that they're going through. Is there a call center? Can people reach out to you during that 10 to 6 time because you have mental health services? So.
We do, and another thing that I didn't point out is that we have all of our therapists, we have Spanish-speaking therapists, and then we also have an office in Osceola County. And so if you are not in Orange County, we're trying to get to all the counties, but right now we are fortunate enough to be out in Osceola with the center, which is also across the street from Zebra in downtown Orlando. They opened an office in Kissimmee, so we're located with them.
Awesome.
And so,
what about volunteers? How do we sign up for that?
Yeah, so from our website, if you go to zebrayouth.org, we actually have a link that you can fill out on your own time and sign up for one of our volunteer information sessions. We have them every other month, and you can come to find out how to get more involved. If you have a group of people who'd like to come in and do work with us, we can easily do that. We can have you sponsor a drop-in day. We have cleanup opportunities throughout even the weekends. We have different events throughout the year where we're looking for group volunteers. If you're looking to do a little more hands-on experience in working with the youth, we do require a background screening, of course, and so it's a little bit of a different process, but you can sign up that way, and that is certainly an opportunity. We focus our drop-in center, our admin and front desk, we have all volunteer-led, so we really could not operate without the support of our volunteers.
All right, so that is Heather Wilkie with Zebra Coalition. We're going to share all of her contact information. We will share the wish list, Jim, put that on there. Heather's going to share every bit of information you could possibly want on the post when she shares the show so that you guys can get involved. We have been focusing on, before we wrap up, we've been focusing on mentors and gratitude and things like that on the show. And so I'm asking all the guests at the very end of the show if you could relate a story or tell us maybe who an impactful mentor has been in your life. I think we all need to get out and mentor more, which is what we're doing this for, because people need it. And it's youth in this particular scenario, but it could be anybody. So I want you to get more involved. Who's somebody who made an impact on you?
Oh my gosh, it is so important, Ted. I absolutely agree with you that not only having a mentor, but being a mentor if you're in a place that you're fortunate enough to be able to share what you do. So when I first started at Harbor House, I met a volunteer there named Maggie O'Connell, and this was now 14 and a half years ago, and she helped me understand everything I needed to know about working with people in general. Her passion for social services in the community is something that I still have yet to find in most people, having worked in the field, and she's now basically a family member. I was going to say one of my best friends, but I think it goes beyond that. Maggie is part of our family, and she's still around, still volunteering. Some of you may know her. Her name is Maggie O'Connell. She's not on Facebook, so I'll have to tag her husband in this. Who's Kevin O'Connell. But anyway, we love you, and I really owe so much of everything I've been able to do to you.
It's awesome. All right, thanks for being on the show. You're a joy. Zebra Coalition, guys, get
Thank
involved.
You for having me.
Oh, please get
Thanks,
involved. Go out, support, donate, volunteer, help out with the upcoming events. Again, we'll share all the links. Thank you so much for tuning in. Zebra Coalition. See you guys soon.